Welcome back to channel. Today we will dive into key aspect of data modeling, implementing slowly changing dimension type 2 in Datasphere. If you are looking to master data modeling and track historical changes efficiently, you are at right place. Stay tuned. So today we are practically going to implement slowly changing dimension 2 into the data sphere. Before moving ahead, let me explain you to what is meant by slowly changing dimension 2. So there are different types of SCD1, SCDs. So SCD1, SCD2, SCD3. So in SCD1 works in a override mode. SCD2 is a where we are keeping track of historical changes. So whatever changes happen historically, all those changes we are maintaining to the system. Let's take an example. We are having employee in our company, and then current year that employee is working into finance department. Next year that employee will going to work into the logistic department. And then in yesterday one, what happen if employee changes the department, then whatever previous old history, that history will not going to be maintained. That history will going to overwrite with the new data. So finance department will going to be override with the logistic department, and relative other columns are also going to be override. So here in STD1 we can see the loss of information. If you wanted to track back, we don't have any other option to track back. So to overcome the challenge, we uh, SAP come up with the slowly changing dimension type 2. So here what happens when employee changes department, that old department information is also saved based on a date and time. Also when new department is getting changed, then for that respective, there will be that respective transition, there will be a new record created uh, with respect to that change date and change time. So hope you understand what is meant by slowly changing dimension. Let's move ahead. So here you can see on my data sphere screen. So before practically implementing, let me show you. I'm having two files. This one is a dimension file, means like I will going to create one local table, that will be the type of dimension. So in dimension table we will be having column as employee, employee name, department, valid from date, valid to date. So another file I'm having, it's a fact data file. So in fact data file you can see the employee ID, working hours and date. So let me jump into the data sphere screen. Here you can see on my screen I have already created one local table, that is historization dimension table. So here when creating local table, I selected semantic uses as a dimension, and columns you can see employee ID, name, department, valid from, valid to date. Here I made a employee ID and valid from as a key. Okay, so also one thing you need to observe when I'm creating date type of columns. So for that I have used semantic types. So that is business date from and business date to. Let me show you local table for the transactional data, fact data. So here for creating fact type of table, I have used semantic uses as a fact, and the columns employee ID, working hours and date. Okay, now on my screen you can see different artifacts we can create into the database. For this implementation, for our agenda is we will going to create one graphical view. In that graphical view we will going to create association with the dimension local table, and we are going to bring uh, values from the dimension table as well. So to create a graphical view, click on graphical view. Here I already link, here view is created. So in this view, let me give the view storization fact view. This is a business name. Technical name is also same. You can change. You can also change the technical name. So let me expose this view first. Before exposing, let me say select semantic uses as an analytical data set. Why analytical data set? Because we are going to analyze this data with a different dimension. Let me expose this consumption for expose this view for consumption, so that we can access this view into the uh, SSE. Okay, so here you can see we are having columns, uh, employee ID, working hours. So to create a SCD type 2, we need a input parameter. So input parameter we are going to create on a top of date column. Okay, click on input parameter. Then here we will in this prompt we need to click on plus sign. Here assign parameter name as a date. No value help. We don't want any value help. Select type as a date. Okay, and by default date if you wanted to give, then we can give it like a this default date. Now we have created input parameter. So here you can see the model contains input parameter, two errors. Okay, let me set measure. Let me set working hours as a measure. So I have set working hour as a measure. Now another error is there that we are having input parameter that is not consumed. Okay, so how we can going to consume? Here we are going to create one filter. Okay, let me show you how we can consume. Click on filter and then you can see the detail option. Click on detail option. So in detail, click on a columns. So on which column we want to filter out? We want to filter out on date column. Now once it is created, click on type is equal to and then click on parameters. Now click on here validate expression. Our filter is created. Okay, now you can see warnings are remaining. Next step is we are going to create a association. So why this association? Because we want columns from dimension local table as well. That's why we are going to create a association. Click on association. Now select dimension table, add, and automatically system will map the columns. Here you can see employee ID. They have created association on the top of employee ID columns. Employee ID columns from the dimension table and the view are mapped, so that here what will happen after association when we are utilizing this view into the SSE, then you will also able to get the name, department, those things into the SSE dashboard. Okay, our view is created and ready to deploy. Let me save this view. This is just warning. We can save it. Also, there is one more step. Once we have created input parameters, so that's why we need to add one annotations into the CSV. Here you can see the params date. Okay, so here we need to add this input these annotations. Now for validate, click on a validate CSN expression. It's showing syntax error. Let me add comma. Okay, now CSN expression is valid. Okay, Now save and deploy this view. Let's wait for the notification whether view has deployed. Okay, now view is successfully deployed. Let's check the data. Now system is asking for the input parameters. So before moving, let me check what date we are having into the fact. 01/12/2022. 01/12/2022. This is default date is coming. Now you can see system is showing data for 1st of December 2022. Now our view is ready to consume into the SSC. Let's go into the SSC and create a chart on top of this view. Now let's add a chart. Yeah, here we go. We are having our view into the SSC. Okay, now here system is asking for the date. What date we are going to instead of we are going to pass here as a 2022 1st of December. Okay, set data is set. Now add measure or working hour is our measure. Now here in dimension you can see in our view we are only having three fields: what working hours, employee ID, and date. But as we have created association with the dimension table, the dimension tables fields are also going to be replicated here. Okay, now here you can see department and name. So let's keep department into. So here working this chart is created. Let me change it to the vertical. So this chart is created working hours per department for. So here you might be wondering, so let me first finish this creating graphs charts. Another chart we will create working hours per date. Okay, this one is also vertical chart. Measure will be the single only working hours. Now while adding dimension, this time we will add a date, we will add employee name, working hour per employee. Okay, here you can see. Yeah, that's it. We have completed the uh, creation of solely changing dimension into the data sphere. Also, we have created uh, SSC story in front end. So here now last question you might be wondering, where is the where concept of slowly changing. Here when I was explaining you slowly changing dimension, I was explaining the concept that we are maintaining data historically. So how data transactional data we are not maintaining. When it comes to master data, we are maintaining it historically. For this purpose, we have created two columns. Okay, here you can see valid from date and valid to date. Okay, let's consider employee ID 1. Employee ID 1 was in year 2022 was working with the finance department. Then uh, data for this employee ID 1 will be like employee ID 1, that employee name, department, finance, and valid from 2022 1st January 2022 to 31st January 2022. So after 2022 employee department is changed. Then system will create another row for the same employee ID 1, that employee name, and here department will going to be changed. That will be a logistic department and valid from 1st January 2023 to 31st January 2023. This is how we are maintaining data into the backend for slowly changing dimension type 2. and I have already shown you how we can create a view to access this data. Thank you. Hit like and subscribe to my channel.